Guys, so an interesting commitment going to NC State, staying pretty close to his home. Believe that he is from the Charlotte area, and I believe that he is. It's Grayson Mccall. Really a great personality and figure in college football the last several years. Coastal Carolina with Chadwell, Willie Corn, Isaiah Likely, and Grayson Mccall. That was a tremendous team to watch play football. And Grayson Mccall decided last year when Chadwell went up to Liberty, he decided to part ways kind of with Chadwell, decided to stay at Coastal Carolina. I think it was maybe the best for both parties. I mean, Caden Salter is a talented quarterback at Liberty, but it was good for Grayson Mccall to kind of see a pro-style scheme. I know that it didn't work out for Grayson, but it was a transition, and I believe that if he's going to be an NFL backup quarterback, he's going to see the style offense that Beck was running at Coastal Carolina. So even though the stats weren't there this year, he still kind of learned something. So, I say that to say Grayson Mccall had more value last year. If he was talking from a financial perspective and not from a loyalty and maybe understanding another scheme perspective, Grayson Mccall kind of he missed out on a chance theoretically when his value was higher. All right, because Grayson Mccall, I'm just going to read you guys the statistics here. I mean, his record was unbelievable. I believe that they, probably went like 11-1, maybe 2 consecutive seasons. They were phenomenal. In fact, Grayson Mccall beat BYU, I remember, with Zach Wilson. Mccall threw for 2,800 yards in both of those years, 27 touchdowns. He never threw for 3 interceptions in all his years of playing at Coastal Carolina. So he just doesn't put the ball in harm's way. Just an incredible career at Coastal Carolina. 26 touchdowns, 27, 24 touchdowns, throwing in the mid 20, throwing for 2,600 yards on on average, throwing for about 2,700 yards every single season. So his value was higher last year than this year. Didn't throw for 2,000 yards, only 10 touchdowns this year. The team Coastal probably went like 7-5. So Grayson Mccall probably had more value on the open market if he was going to get money, if he was going to get paid. Grayson Mccall had more value last year. However, like I said, he learned a pro-style scheme. Jamie Chadwell and Willie Corn do an unbelievable job. There was more talent at Coastal when Chadwell was over there. And the schedule, I believe, might have gotten harder at Coastal Carolina. For sure, like going to the Sun Belt, that league is just brutally tough. So, Grayson Mccall now going to go to NC State. I think it's a pretty good signing for Mccall because I think he'll actually get playing time there. Now, in terms of his physical traits, he can run it. He's mobile. He has all the intangibles you want in the world. The guy is a dog competitor out there. The guy is, somebody that your offensive linemen are going to fight for. He'll run. He'll truck guys over. As a freshman, the moxie that Mccall had to go into Kansas and win that game as a freshman, Mccall just has plenty of moxie, plenty of swag. A guy that the team really rallies around. In terms of arm strength, though, it's not up there with the elite of the elite. And in terms of accuracy at the Power 5 level, he's fairly accurate. But in terms of the real arm talent like that you might see from like a Tyler Van Dyke, unfortunately, it just doesn't compare. But he really does like all of the little things well. So I wonder if Mccall can find success at NC State. I think that there is going to be wide receiver talent that is going to be on that roster at NC State with Dave Doeren. They tried to add in Brennan Armstrong. with Devin Leary, maybe there are some similarities between Devin Leary and McCall. Both kind of undersized. Both don't have the biggest arms in the world. Both can be accurate. So, MJ Morris, I believe, went into the transfer portal at NC State. So, McCall, I'm curious to see what he can do. And if they can actually at NC State, get to the point where they're winning 9 or 10 games. The ACC is not as good of a conference as some of these other leagues, especially with expansion happening now. So I'm curious about the fit. It's not as exciting as Grayson Mccall maybe going to an Auburn, but he stays kind of close to home. Dave Doeren's done it a while. So I think it's a pretty decent fit. And McCall, like I said, a couple of years ago, his stock was a lot higher. This year you kind of saw it come crashing down with the overall season, even though, again, I think he did pick up valuable lessons from a new system and facing that adversity, and he's going to see that in his professional career. I do think he can be an undrafted NFL guy. It's unfortunate because even though he's listed at 6'3", he's probably 6'2", and he doesn't have that next tier just arm strength. But I love everything about McCall. I'm a fan of the moxie, of the winning that he did at Coastal Carolina, of the ability to get yards, on the ground. And I think there's something there with McCall. So I'm excited to see him go to a Power 5 league, go to the ACC, hopefully start some games, and kind of see how he can do at NC State. I think it'll be really fun and entertaining. I think NC State needs a little splash. They're that middling kind of, honestly, from a national perspective, they've just been kind of middling a little bit. They might get to 8 wins. Yeah, they might get to 7 wins. But even with Devin Leary, you're playing Clemson in the rain. Go win a monumental big game at Clemson. Go beat the big dogs of the ACC. Go beat Florida State. Let's see if they can take that next step, because they're not a disaster by any means. They're kind of solid. They'll win 7 games. They'll win 8 games. But can they take that next step to winning 10 or 11 games? Really competing late in the season for a college football playoff, really competing. Will they ever be able to do that with Dave Doeren, who's been there a very long time? Is Dave ever going to take them to that next level? We're going to find out in Raleigh, because it's a really good recruiting footprint that you have at NC State. And holistically, is this program gonna take that next step? Is this program gonna get there? But McCall will at least be kind of really fun to watch. So again, he's a guy you root for. I'm not sure about upside of upside. I know that as a sophomore, he was getting projected to be a 3rd-round NFL draft pick when he was at Coastal. But you just saw the value of Jamie Chadwell and the value of Willie Korn and how they put him in the best positions to be successful. And then when they brought in a new coaching staff, you kind of saw some flaws a little bit with McCall and with this offense at Coastal. Alrighty, guys. Thank you for watching this video. Grayson Mccall, NC State.